Hey everyone, this is episode 5 of Next Level Truths, and we're talking about getting control of your mind, specifically for targeted individuals, but could be helpful for anyone. So, in the final episode, what I want to say is everything that we've talked about, how can we bring it all together and in a cohesive way leave prepared for anything and everything that might cross our paths, targeted or not. And it is by having a desire to see the truth, to speak the truth, and to experience the truth. Because the entire old system is built on domination, fear, and lies. It preys on your insecurities. It's created all sorts of illusions to keep you under control. Kind of like, you have a little kid and they want to climb up the side of the building and jump off like Superman, and it's going to be awesome. And you're like, no, don't do that. You'll kill yourself. And you put the fear in them so that they don't do that. Well, that's what has been done to the extreme. So, a little kid, it can be helpful to tell them to be cautious, but if that child does not ever grow and experiment and express boundaries and have some sovereignty, then that child will forever be afraid of heights. And we see that happening too. That's where phobias come from. So as the systemic collapse happens, and I believe it's going to happen, I believe it's happening right now. I think everyone can see it quite clearly. So how do you navigate this well? Well, first of all, since you know that fear is the lowest frequency, and you know that that is the emotion that they've been playing with in order to control everybody, then you know that that's the one that you need to be aware of and make sure it's not part of your daily existence. Now, I'm not saying you're ever going to make it go away completely, and you shouldn't. If someone comes up to you and puts a gun in your face, you're going to feel fear. If a rabid dog jumps in front of you and starts biting your leg, you're going to feel fear. But if that's not happening, it's not yours. There's no reason to be afraid. And more than likely, it's a hologram. So the biggest fear that is always counted upon by the structure is the one that doesn't even exist, the illusions. So when this whole systemic collapse started happening, or I had a vision of it happening, it really hadn't started yet. That was my first thought. Well, how am I going to navigate this alone without anyone else to talk to and not be afraid? Keep my sanity. Because that's what this is about, really, is keeping your sanity. People stick together in crowds in order to keep their sanity because it feels safer, because they're not strong-minded. It kind of makes sense, But if you're watching this video, you are strong-minded and you have a desire to maximize your potential, and that's why we're making these videos. So this is what I did, and I found it to be very helpful. If the biggest fear that they're going to play on is the what-ifs, then you simply eliminate the what-ifs. If you do not have a plan, don't be scared, be prepared. That's what Dutch Sense, the earthquake guy, says all the time. Truer words are never spoken. I thought about, before I started speaking out at all in 2020, when all systems were activated or deactivated, as the case may be, how far was I willing to go? What possible outcomes could I have by speaking my truth? So I played them all out in my head. Well, this would be the best case scenario. This would be the worst case scenario. These are the decisions that I might have to make if I decide to ride that train all the way to the end. And I looked at it. I looked at the truth, at the reality and the potentials, like a scientist, like a computer, and I analyzed it and I weighed it out. How far am I willing to go? What's important to me? What kind of a life do I want to have? What legacy do I want to leave? When I leave, what will make me feel fulfilled? That is how you should live your life. You don't have to make the same choices that I made, or that your parents made, or that, your village expects you to. No, you need to make your own. And whatever that is, it's a valid choice, and that's right for you. But think about it now and examine all possible outcomes so that fear won't arise. You get fear, you panic when you don't know what to do, when you haven't thought of something, and there's an earthquake and you don't have your money, your keys, your shoes, your nothing. You're going to be panicked about your life and panicked about survival at the same time. When you've already thought about all possible things, you go into a computer mode. You're an efficient machine. It's like a military maneuver. You're like boom, boom, boom. You made preparations and you're out the door, and you're going to do very, very well. So I'm breaking down the systemic collapse possibilities. Education, banking and financial, government, religion, social. There may be others that I haven't thought about, but you get the picture. So look at them. What would happen if the educational system, something happens, and for a million different reasons? Well, some of these things are already happening now, so you can kind of figure it out. People don't have the money to go to college. The prices keep going up, and our jobs and our future and everything, it's unpredictable. They're not willing to go into more debt than they already have. And the kids that did graduate, they don't have jobs and stuff like that. So look at that possibility. Well, then what would be the alternative? So if the entire system's collapsed and everything, and the job market, everything's going to shift, start thinking about, if that happened, what kind of jobs and education would be available, and look at it that way and make your decisions based on that information. Then work your way through banking and financial, government, religion, social, all the different systems. How do I feel about it? How does this make me feel? What could be the best possible outcome, the worst possible outcome? Where do I want to be sitting in this? Work it all out ahead of time. Think about it. Really examine it. Process any feelings that you have. Of course there's concern or this or that or the what ifs. But the more you think about it and you make a plan and you look at all the possibilities, then when it actually happens, you're not scared because you've already seen it. You already thought about it. That's experience. That's being a veteran. When you actually go through it, you live through it, and you come out the other side, then you will be a battle-ready, battle-seasoned veteran. And you can talk to your grandkids about it, and you can be a wise teacher. But until then, when you have to go into your first battle, you're in boot camp. And in boot camp, they prepare your mindset. They get you ready for battle. All possible scenarios that you become a machine. Okay, it's no different. Military knows what they're doing with mind manipulation. They know exactly what they're doing. So I had often, over the last few years, said something, non-complimentary things about New Age, New World camps that are trying to prepare people using military systems, and how I thought that it could be done so much better. Well, I still stand by saying that because there's always room for improvement, especially since the energetic shift is going to be so big. You don't want to stick with the same exact ones. But I'm not dissing the military. They know their stuff. They know their stuff. They've been looking into this so many years ahead, for better and for worse. But they know their stuff. So to completely discard it and not respect them and all the research and work and all the good things that they've done would be unfair. So they have my deepest respect. Just saying. All right. So the old system, though. It's all about creating like panic and fear and so they can keep control of you, for better, for worse. It's just is what it is. So that, because we know better, we're your mom, don't put on your Superman cape, she'll probably kill yourself. You need us, and do what we tell you to do. And the new system, if you care to step into it, whether you're talking about the high 5D frequency or just being the best that you can be, being an independent thinker and not falling prey to someone else's opinion or programs. And that is the system of sovereignty. You have no fear. You don't accept lies. You only accept truth. And you don't run with your insecurities because you have confidence, because you've taken control of your brain and you know all of these things to be true. You see through the matrix, you see through the programming, you see through lies and whatnot. And that is how you navigate the changes, the ascension process. Any challenges that you have, job loss, anything that you encounter, or being a targeted individual, even if you're just targeted in your workplace because one person hates you, that can send people into meltdowns. So this serves anyone at any place at any time. It's just about being strong, being mentally strong, and looking at the way things are and the way that they really exist in your reality, accepting it, and then stepping up to the plate. You can do it. So anyone who is participating in distributing information like this, such as myself, this episode series that I just put together today, these are the reasons why you would be a targeted individual, to someone who doesn't want people standing up, learning the truth, and being strong. That's why. That's why. That's also why many groups who are not necessarily light rays or here on a mission or planning to speak out at all are also targeted individuals, because you are human guinea pigs for boot camp practice. You see? And this way everyone is a targeted individual. And nothing is all good, nothing is all bad. It just is what it is. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed Next Level Truths. I hope you saw some value in it. And don't be scared, be prepared. Dutch sense. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.